Welcome to episode 6 of flipping from a bronze dagger to an AGS. To recap the last episode, we started with 1.2 mil and we finished with 3.5 mil, with our total profit being roughly 2.3 mil. Of all of that profit, 900k of it was from one flip alone. We got our best flip of the series last episode, getting 3 gold trim black wizard hats for 250k and selling them for 1.15 mil. Now, the margins are pretty bonkers right now with Raids 2 being out. With so much change and uncertainty around, the margins on everything are all over the place. That's a flipper's dream, so let's get right into it. Let's start with something risky. For the first item this episode, I found dragon chain bodies. Just earlier today, they were selling for around 460k, but now they're going between 500k and 700k. I placed an offer for 504k, just for a single one. Ah damn, it's probably not a good sign when you get an insta-buy on a risky item like this one. I'll put it up for 625k regardless, hopefully the volatility pays off. Item number 2, unfinished dwarf weed potions. This one's usually worth around 800 GP, but the latest trades show around 650. I'll put up an offer of 690. On the latest price tab, rock shell legs are going between 37k and 50k. I'll aim to buy around 8 of them. And for item number 4, self-graveyard teleports are all over the place. The highest I've been selling for is 5k, but right now they're only going for 2040 each. So it seems like the common theme for this episode is volatility. Right now, bags of apples are going for anywhere between 420 each and 800 each. I'll place an offer for 430 and I'll see how it goes. We made a lot of money in the previous episodes decanting potions. I reckon anti-fires are another candidate for that, with the 3 doses going for really cheap. I try and pick some up for 200 each. We did pretty well with Evil Chicken Armor in the last episode, and I reckon we need to be flipping a Fashionscape item with our mix right now. As always, when you're dealing with low volume items like these, you want to pluck your price right from the graph. I can see that the last trade was for 400k, and the plan would be to sell these for 750k. Oh my god, nice, got one for 323k. So right off the bat, I'm going to put these up for 776k. And just after that, we managed to get a whole bunch of anti-fire pots. Instead of waiting around for the rest of them to complete, I'll decant them and put them up for the recommended price. And so now we have 720k left and 1 GE slot left to fill. I'll try to find a high volume item to use up the remaining cash. On the high volume tab, I found binding necklaces going between 600 and 730 each. Looking at the graph, I can see that this price probably won't last for very long. It looks like somebody dumped a whole lot of them just now. I placed an offer to buy them at 610 each to use up all of my remaining money. So this is what I'll be leaving overnight. We've got a healthy mix of all types of items, which is especially important when everything is so volatile like it is now. So I looked back in 10 minutes later just to check in, and holy moly, the chicken feet sold for 776k. So looking at our history, we bought them for 323k and we sold them for 776k, earning us a profit of 453k. What a good way to start the episode. So that actually worked really well, and I don't have time to find another item, so I'll just put up another offer to buy 2 of them. Oh, and we managed to get the binding necklaces as well. I'll put them up for 870 each. And it's only been a few minutes yet again, and we got another chicken feet. Chicken foot? Whatever. I'm going to put this up to sell straight away for 776k. And I'll update the rock shell legs to sell for 65k. With the leftover money, I'll cancel the apples and buy some raw summer pies, which are going between 830 GP and 1.1k. Alright, I'm off for realsies now. I'll check these tomorrow. It's the morning of day 2 and 6 of our offers have completed. They're mostly sell offers, so we should have a nice big pile of cash after this. Nice, we've got 4.6 mil and 200 self-graveyard teleports. With the recommended price of these being 2900, I'll sell them for that much. So with 4.7 mil cash and these items selling for 500k, we've already profited around 1.7 mil in just day 1 of this episode. Let's have a look at our profits. The anti-fires earned us 122k profit, we bought them for 321k, and we sold them for 433k after decanting them. The Evil Chicken Feet is our best flip of the series so far. I didn't think that we'd be able to top off the Wizard Hat so quickly, but we made 906k profit on these, after buying for 323k and selling for 776k twice in a row. The Barney necklaces were really good too. We bought them for 620 each and we sold them for 870 each for a 290k profit. And yeah, wow, the Rockshell legs were deceptively good too. We bought them for 300k and sold them for 516k. That's a 216k profit. And finally, the Dragon Chain Body made us 50k. And while we were checking our profits, the teleports sold. We made 172k profit on these as well. We bought them for 408k and we sold them for 580k. So yeah, we actually managed to completely liquidate that time. So now I've got nothing but 5.2 mil cash. Let's look for some items. So first up is Dragon Scimitar Ornament Kits, going for anywhere between 1.6 mil and 1 mil for the whole day. I placed a lowball offer for just 1 mil and I hope it goes back up to 1.6. Salve Graveyard teleports worked really well before and they're still looking pretty good to flip. Looking at the latest price, I'll aim to pick some up for 2.1k and sell them for 3k. We tried Sacred Oils in the last episode and failed, but I think it's worth another shot. They're currently going between 500 GP and Elite GP. For item number 4, I found Amethyst Javelins. They're usually worth around 600 GP, but right now they're going for as low as 380. Looking at the latest price, I can see that they're actually going for 368, so I'll put up an offer for 370. Dragon Bone necklaces have been extremely volatile today, especially for such an expensive item. Scrolling down to the latest price, the most recent trade showed that I could make around 100k flipping these right now. I'll place an offer for 452k, and the aim is to sell it for around 550k. For the next item, I'm looking for some low volume flips to give us some diversity. Frozen Whip mixers usually trade for around 150k, but on the chart I can see that they sold for as low as 112k recently. I'll put up an offer to buy 2 of them for 113k each. For our second last item, I found briefcases going between 140k and 215k for the last day. Since it's infrequently traded, I'll get my buy price from the graph. The plan here is to buy it for 166k and sell it for 215k. And so now I've got 860k to use on 1 GE slot. When you've only got 1 GE slot left, I always recommend using a high volume flip to use up all of your remaining cash. That way you can essentially have no cash lying around at the end of your flipping session. The item that I found is Diamond Dragon Bolts, currently going between 1602 and 1997. Cool, so this is what we've got at the end of the day, and as always, a good mix of high volume and low volume. I'll be checking back on these tonight. So it looks like not much really went through during the day, only 3 offers completed. Since they're all buy offers, we can go straight into selling items off. First up, the Dragonbone necklaces went down a little bit after we bought them. They're currently going for between 425k and 475k each. I'll put them up for 475k. The briefcases have maintained their trends, so I plan on putting them up for 215k is still good. And the Amethyst Javelins look like they could sell for 530 each based on the recommended price. And as for the other items, we didn't get enough to bother holding on to them, so I just put them up for a discount. So now we have 3.1 mil cash and 5 GE slots to fill with items. The first item that we'll be buying tonight is Bracelets of Slaughter. They've been going between 4.3k and 5.3k lately. I'll aim to buy around 500k worth of these. If this split works out, we should make around 1k for each one that we manage to pick up. 3-dose super strength potions look like a good candidate for decanting. You can tell a potion's really good to decant when the buy price dips really low like it has done here. I'll aim to spend around 750k on these. So in the last episode, we were actually flipping these trim black D-hide chaps in the 100k to 130k range. But just today, their prices dipped to as low as 65k, so in my mind, it's a no-brainer to try and pick some of these up. I'll take the latest price point of 87k, and I'll try and sell them for 130k. For our second last item, crystal shields are going between 600k and 760k. I'll aim to pick up 2 of these. And nice, some of the amethyst javelins sold, giving us a little bit more money to work with. And finally for our last item, I found dark crabs going between 881 and 1032. I'll put all of the remaining money into this. Alright, so this is what I'll be leaving overnight. Let's hope we get more luck this time than we did in our last session. It's the morning of day 3, and 5 out of 8 of our offers have completed. Let's start by selling off the items that we bought overnight. So first up, the super strength potions are so frequently traded that we can trust a recommended price pretty easily. After decanting them, I'll be selling these for 1626. The black D-hide that we managed to pick up for 87k has bounced back up quite a bit. The last 2 trades show that I can sell them for between 125k and 110k, so I'll be selling them for 120k. And we only managed to pick up 15 dark crabs, so I'll just sell those for 1 GP. Having a look at our history, we made 49k on the briefcases, bought them for 166, sold them for 215. The dragon bone necklaces made us 50k, we bought them for 452k each, and we sold them for 475k each. That's a huge relief because those continued to crash after we bought them. And man, we made a bucket load on the amethyst javelins. We bought 3,000 of them for 1.1 mil, and we sold them for just under 1.6 mil for a 480k profit. And I was just watching these super strength potions gradually sell off. Managed to sell them all for 1 mil altogether. Having a look at our history, we managed to profit about 250k on those. Bought them for 747, and decanted them to sell them for 1 mil. So now I've got 6 mil cash, let's look for some items. So first up, lanternine pots have dipped down quite a bit from their usual price of 1.7k. I'll try and pick some up for 1365 each as per the recommended price. So dragon bone necklaces look even better to flip than before, honestly. For the last day, they've been going between 400k and 550k. The last price on the graph is 406k, so I'll buy them for that much. So this is a super weird low volume item, but I've got to try it. Merfolk tridents lately have been selling between 100k and 240k. This is no different to flipping Fashionscape in my mind, so basically, you gotta hope you get lucky. When Malediction wards crashed earlier this week, the shards crashed even harder. The second shard was 1.3 mil before the crash, but since then it's been going between 400k and 900k. The most recent price is 415k, so I'll put up an offer to match that. For our next item, gnome scarves look like they could make us about 110k for each one that we flip. For a Fashionscape item, they've actually got pretty high volume, so I'll be able to buy 2 of these. Bit of a weird item, but West Ardoon teleports have had an 80% margin for most of the day. We know that's the case because the recommended prices that are shown here have been averaged for the last 24 hours. Since I'll be leaving these all day, that's really good to know. I'll aim to buy around 250 of these. So now we've got 1.4 mil to spend on our last item. As always, since we've got 1 GE slot left, I'm going to look for something with high volume. So the high volume item that I found is dodgy necklaces, going between 710 and 980 each. I'll put all of my remaining money into these. Alright, this looks pretty good. I'll be checking back tonight. It's the night of day 3, and about half of our items have gone through, which is super nice. Let's collect and cancel and see where we're at. So we've got 3.8 mil and some items that we need to sell off. This episode's been running for 3 days, which means it's time to start wrapping things up and begin the liquidation phase. The liquidation phase is a part of every episode where we sell off our items to reduce our bank down to a nice juicy cash stack, giving us a fresh start for the next episode. Of all the items that we have, the only real normal one is the lanternine potions. The rest of them are pretty obscure, so they could take quite a while to sell. Starting with the Merfolk trident, we got it for 100k, and the most recent trade showed that I can sell it for 200k still. And this is beautiful. We bought these lanternine pots for 1.3k each, and the price has bounced back to 1700 just like we hoped. Nice, they insta-sold for 1730 each. Looking at our history, we picked those up for 1.36 mil and we sold them for 1.73 mil for a 370k profit. As for the dodgy necklaces, it looks like we could sell those for 857 each. I put them up for the lower price just to sell them off quicker. And nice, we picked up these RSBuddy teleports for 1.5k each and they're currently going for around 3k each. And again, I'll put them up for the slightly lower price just to ensure that they actually sell. And looking at our profits from the last session, we picked up the Black D-Hide Chaps Tee for 175k, and we sold them for 239k for a 64k profit. Okay, I'm off to bed. Hopefully when I wake up, all of these have sold. It's the morning of day 4 and everything has gone through. We're fully liquidated, so let's take a look at our finishing stack. 6.86 mil. Before we wrap the episode up, let's have a look at our last flips. We profited 113k on the dodgy necks, we bought them for 711 each and we sold them for 857 each. The Merfolk Trident made us 93k, bought it for 106k, sold it for 199k. And finally the Artie teleports we bought for 385k, and we sold them for 280 plus 207 equals 487k. That is a 102k profit. That's episode 6 done and dusted. Thanks for watching and sorry it took so long to get released. I've been pretty sleep deprived lately, so I took a few nights off instead of editing. But the main issue was that RSBuddy changed the way that their program works, which actually caused the PlatinumTokens site to be down for a few days. It was really tough to fix, but it's all back to normal now. So to summarize this episode, we started with 3.518 mil, and we finished with 6.868 mil for a profit of 3.35 mil. Our return this episode was 95.2%. That's the first episode that we didn't double our money. RIP. And Armadillo GODSWORDs are currently only worth 17.1 mil. That kinda sucks because it makes the challenge that tiny bit easier, but oh well. With a 6.9 mil bank, we are 40.1% of the way there. As always, shout out to the PlatinumTokens Discord. We've been getting heaps of new members who have already been getting some really amazing flips. It's so satisfying for me to see someone join the Discord and have success with the tools that I make. Congrats to Pink Unicorn Yo for reaching 100 mil in just 11 days, and getting probably the best flip I've ever seen. Yeah, that's a 14 mil profit on Sanfu Serums. As I've always said, the best way to get better at flipping is to learn with others, so I hope to see you there too. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.